Everybody.
Hello, hi.
Well, that was a good mid-sentence conversation starter. Shit. All right.
Hello.
Some of us were
We're early.
kind of ready. Some of us weren't. We're not early. We're not early, and
We're
we're going to
early.
explain. Okay. So, for all us Southern Hemisphere people, we're still on normal schedule. For you guys in the Northern Hemisphere on the Eastern Standard Time, your clocks did actually come back 1 hour today. So we will be 7 p.m. Eastern for the foreseeable future. Obviously until March when your daylight time kicks back in, and then obviously it'll move back to 8 p.m. So that's the reason for the slight change in schedule.
I'm sure it's going to catch a lot of people out.
It probably will. But we are going to bring in our special guest. Yanks, would you like to drag our guest in?
Yeah, I could do that.
He's confused. Where the fuck?
There we go. Hi.
There we go.
There he is.
All right, introducing a special guest for this week, Mr. Kazawaki.
Hello, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we got you.
Yep.
Got you. Now he's over there.
There he is.
There he is. Welcome on to the show, Kaza, once again.
Welcome.
A bit more of a co-host role this time, as opposed to just as a highlight. So, pleasure to have you on.
Pleasure to be here.
All right. All right. So first off, we're going to kick off. Like I said, we got the time zones sort of out of the way. Something that we'd like to push towards the Side Note family is Tuesday night. GC Talks is having a stream. As per that Twitter status there. Check that out. Something new's coming. It's there in the tweet. There's something creeping in from what they say. So if you're keeping up with the Glimesh progress speed, you might want to check that out. If you're not able to, definitely keep your eyes on the platform because it will be very interesting. I can't say too much on that, but definitely worth a look. So. New things coming out on.
Well, it's also good because
new things in there.
We haven't had that, response reach out from Glimesh in quite some time. So it's going to be exciting to hear what they've got to say on everything.
It's been quite a long stagnant period of nothingness.
Well, I know.
Horizon.
I know Clone has been busy with personal stuff, so that's probably now a bit of an insight. So he's back on deck from all accounts that we know of. So he's back working on the Glimesh side of things. So hopefully we'll start to see some things. But big news around that. So 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So same time as now, basically on Tuesday. So make sure you guys are checking that out.
Check it out. Tune in. It's going to be a good time.
Indeed.
Now, I understand Yanks has got some more Glimesh news for us as well.
I have event news.
Oh.
Yay. Okay.
Event news.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
If you haven't noticed, there has been a stealth change to the Glimesh website. Up at the top where you would normally pick your video categories, there is now a tab for events. So when you go to that tab, there's this handy little calendar that has like little colored dots for all the different events that are coming up. And so up on deck, we've got, as we just talked about, the GCT Talks on Tuesday. But in addition to that, on November 13th, which is a Saturday, we have a StarCraft 2 tournament for Glimesh that is being held by Heel Harley. So it's
where be these events tab? Oh, yes. Up top.
It's up top.
The tab that literally says events.
Yeah, it says events.
Nice.
But yeah, so
right next to your following. That's cool.
Yeah, so Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern time, Heel Harley is hosting a StarCraft 2 open tournament. That should be a lot of fun. I myself have not played StarCraft 2 since literally when the game came out, so it's probably been about 10 years. But I've always enjoyed watching StarCraft 2 tournaments. So I'm definitely going to tune in myself and watch that. It's going to be fun. So But
Nice.
that's all we got for events.
Ooh.
But it's there on the platform.
It
So
is,
again,
yes.
anyone right up next to you following on the top of your page,
Mhm.
events, check it out. Again, good way to keep a track of what's going on, and also makes it easier for Yakes to keep up with them.
Hey, listen,
Indeed.
I was sitting on my couch today. Like I had my like bowl of Doritos. I'm sitting there. I'm watching the NASCAR championship because I'm like, oh, it's only 6 o'clock, right? The Sainted Lord messages me on Discord and says, "Where you at?" And I'm like, "What do you mean where I'm at? We still got an hour to go." And he's just like, "No, we don't." And so I'm just like,
No.
well, you know, I'm sitting here. I'm gonna finish watching this race and come in and get prepped up and everything. So, luckily the race ended at a good time for that. You know, shout out to Kyle Larson here as your 2021 NASCAR champion. So, yeah. Anyway, that's
Classic daylight shenanigans.
yeah. You know, daylight shenanigans. They should just not touch the clocks in the first place. Why do you got to touch the clocks? Like,
Just get rid of daylight savings time.
there's
Yeah,
no
exactly. No one
there's no
needs it.
point in it. There's no point in daylight.
Even-
It's so dumb.
Even poor Kazza over here. I messaged Kazza and said, "Are you good to go as a special guest?" He's like, "You're early." I'm like, "Daylight time." Oh shit!
Yeah, I was going across the desert in my GMC Jimmy when you
Yeah. You just get rid of either make everybody do daylight time or just get rid of it.
Just get rid of it. It's
Just
easier.
get rid of
Fuck
it.
off.
Don't touch the
Just,
clocks.
just gone.
Just don't touch the clocks. Let's just go about our day and everything is at the time it's supposed to be.
Anyway, so bouncing on. News this week has been
News.
Inundated.
News.
Oof.
News. There is news everywhere. Some of which we're not going to touch, as it is a touchy subjects. But as always, we'll kick off with some platform news. Last week, I believe it was last week. Twitch streamer Squid Game was in some hot water over her name on Twitch, but it looks like she may be forced to change her name. She tweeted out, "Looks like I might have to change my handle after all. I've lost 2 amazing presenting opportunities because people don't want to hire me with my Squid Game handle." She also stated that first I get sent abuse, then I get banned. Now I'm losing out on work. I mean, that's just unfortunate because she's had her name for quite some time.
And I guess, look, I mean, that's something we'd all probably potentially face at some point in time. And I mean, how would we react to it? I mean, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, what would you do? I mean, I mean, probably for Kazra, it's probably the worst because, you know, it's so close to other branding as such. But
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, what would we do? Would we just take it lying down and move on with it? Or would we put up the fight? You know, again, like,
I mean, what
The
would you
hardest
do
part
if
is when
the
you've
I was gonna say
Anyway.
what would you do if the next Netflix show that comes out is called Sainted Lord?
I mean,
What do you do? Like you can't do anything about it if it just
but I mean, that then falls back to me. If I haven't gone and done the trademark or the copyrights on it,
yeah.
then again, it's free use. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
I mean, but
I guess I
mean,
can't deal with it.
the unfortunate part is branding.
Right.
Obviously, you know, she's had her name for a long time. There's lots of branding there all over her channels and probably merch as well. Like that's the tough bit when you've got to change all of that.
How would I mean, like, so check this out. How would you go about changing it? Like, would you just add something to it? Would you put like Squid's Game? Like, would you put an S in there so it does take it away? Would you maybe
you'd
take
still
the S away
find-
and just call it Quid Game? What would you do? Like, I mean, what would you?
I think she would still have the same issues because it is very closely
Similar.
resembled.
Well, isn't the
to
main issue
the
just
show
the fact that like people keep like contacting her and confusing her for being actually Squid Game?
Well, yeah,
Like-
and she's basically just getting abuse
Yeah.
because of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even if you just like altered your name a little bit, like that's still gonna happen.
Yeah, she may be looking at a complete rebranding by the looks of
Yeah,
it,
unfortunately, yeah.
which is tough.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good time
you
to come
guys
over
had
to a
that
great
in
platform like Glimesh.
Kaz was about to add to that. What were you?
Yeah, you know, with the name change and everything, it's like when I started my club back in the day. My club's name is closely resemblant to the drift company in England called Drift Works. If they come after us, then we'll just change it completely. But you run that risk. You run that risk all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
you do.
if Kawasaki come after me and say your name resembles us too much, then we go back to Bird of Mimus or we just find something else.
Yeah.
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 And that's the hard thing. I mean, it's trying to find that balance, isn't it? Where you kind of differentiate from something, but still maintain that that sense of singularity, I guess, without
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
feed
Yeah.
off a brand. Yeah, interesting.
Twitch has launched a brand new category called Animals, Aquariums, and Zoos.
Let me guess.
Hang on. All right, so animals, aquariums, and zoos. The majority of this new category is simply static cameras filming animals such as kittens, otters, and zoo enclosures.
That sounds incredibly wholesome.
Providing a peaceful stream to check out animals just living. I mean, there was Chicken Cam on here.
I was going to say, chicken can we had,
Hey,
yeah.
chicken
I mean, that's
cam.
still around.
Chicken,
Yeah.
that's.
However, Amaranth has been streaming from a horse stable. Something she has done numerous times over the past, meaning this category was set up perfectly for her to dominate another Twitch subsection. On the day the new category was added, her ranch stream was topped over 8,000 viewers.
She really has no shame.
I don't want to know what's going on in that stable.
Basically, there is no category that Amaranth can't touch.
Yeah.
But okay, let's be honest. You made that big thing about, hey, maybe I'll do something different. Like, how much of it is actually aimed for her? Like, how much of that was actually set up for her initially?
I would say most of it.
Reach out to Twitch and say, hey, make me this category so that I can, stream from my fucking stables or...
Yeah, pretty much.
Come on now. Like,
Yeah.
it's just getting beyond the joke. I see Kaz is laughing up there.
Hot tubs, now barns. I mean...
Is she, but okay, so my question is she going to combine the ASMR, the hot tubs in a horse stable?
That's just
that could be a whole different category.
Yeah. Does that just go back and just chatting then? Just go for a circle?
Actually, that's right.
We'll just go back to IRL. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been the smart move.
Twitch has also removed a brand new feature that was released too early. The feature automatically unfollowed users from a channel they were banned from. On November 3rd. Yeah.
Is this a safety feature that they've taken back out now?
Yes. So on November 3rd, Twitch users noticed that anyone permanently banned from a channel were also automatically unfollowed from it. Twitch has stated, while working to curb follow bot abuse, a product feature was inadvertently released early. As a result, accounts that were banned in a channel were automatically removed as a follower. We've rolled back this change and bans should now be functioning as expected. We've heard your feedback about this change, and the final product should address many concerns raised. We're continuing to build, and we'll let you know what is happening when we're ready to launch. Yeah. So obviously, it's something that they've been working on. They accidentally launched it, whether that can be believed or not. I reckon they intentionally launched it, copped a lot of backlash, and have just said that it was an accident.
So my point on this: if you get banned, you should be automatically unfollowed. You shouldn't you shouldn't be able to follow the channel. You're banned from it.
That would make sense.
Perfect sense.
The rambling I've seen about this is people that claim that mods just ban their friends from their chat as a joke, and then now they get unfollowed. Happen. Yeah, but it's also just that seems like abusing the tools.
That's right. That's mod abuse. That's
That's-
abusing
Yeah,
your
like-
power.
Like, don't do that.
Like, I never jokingly banned someone. Like,
No.
that's probably that step over the line.
Yeah, like I could see like timeout as a joke, like, hey, shut up for a minute.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
but like banning
20-minute
them
timeout,
seems
just
like
suck it,
a little
yeah.
excessive. But like, yeah, timeout, just like, hey, just stop talking for a minute. Like, okay.
but
But you can
What-
automatically remove a timeout.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Bans-
exactly. Yeah, you can undo the timeout. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is, what's it going to take for them to implement that? Is it going to be under their boosted section? Like,
No, I don't think that would be that. This is going to be available to everyone, I would say.
but then why
But-
roll it back until you figure it out? Like, it
Because
makes no
everyone
sense.
bitched
The
about
feature
it.
was released.
Everyone
So
bitched
how are
about
you-
it because of all these people who joke ban and just under dumb circumstances that these problems
So
have
Twitch put this feature in place to protect the streamer.
Just don't.
So the
joke
streamer then
ban.
whinges about it. So then Twitch pull that feature, only to bring it
Here's-
back in later anyway. What's the whole
Here's the
fucking
bit that
point of
doesn't
it?
make any fucking sense, right? Twitch has an unban request feature.
Yes,
So if you
Yeah.
get, say you got
falsely
banned,
banned.
right, and you got automatically unfollowed, you could still request to be unbanned, and that process can still go in place. So it's not like you've lost that person forever. Like, you can get them back.
Yeah.
It's just people need to change the way they do things.
Yeah. You just got to control your
And not-
fucking
not
mods.
just- Not just ban
Yeah.
people just for the fucking laugh of it.
Yeah, control your mods. If they're going to abuse the power, then they get unmodded, so they can't do it. It's
Yeah.
not a hard process.
So it's also not clear when the feature will return. I mean,
Okay.
I give it a week or two, and I reckon we'll see it back into the wild with
So-
whatever features they've added.
So
Honestly-
Twitch aren't doing enough to protect us
Yeah.
as streamers, but when they do try and protect us, we're going to bitch about it anyway.
Honestly, I see no problem with if you ban someone, it unfollows them from your channel. Because
Yeah,
then
That's right.
it think about it this way, like if you ban somebody, that then hurts your numbers on Twitch. And since everyone on Twitch just cares about numbers, you'd think twice about banning them. Because now that's dropping your numbers.
Exactly right. Actually, we had that on Mixer, didn't we? Kaza, didn't we? When we banned someone, didn't it unfollow?
Yeah.
No.
I think it,
I'm sure it did. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it
I'm
did on
sure it
Mixer.
did.
Oh no, it
Yeah.
did too. Yes,
It did. Yeah, it unfollowed
should.
when you ban
Yeah.
someone, it unfollowed them. Yeah,
It
that's
absolutely
right.
should.
They couldn't. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Just don't
it
ban
should be-
people.
It
Unless
should
they
be an
deserve
IP
it.
ban. Ban should be IP based, and obviously unfollowed.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably the
Yeah.
safest thing you could possibly do.
Bans should be a big deal. And it feels like they're not treated like they are a big deal. Like
Yeah.
that's why like I feel like a lot of streamers like don't even use timeout. They're just like, get out of here, ban. Like or anything like
Yeah.
that. Because it's easier to just hit the one button and then you don't have to think about it. Whereas,
Yeah.
timeout was a better moderation tool because it's like tells the viewer, hey, don't come into my stream with that attitude. I still appreciate you being here, but just calm it down a little bit. But if you see, like, if I was doing a race, right, and I like smack the wall and get into a crash, and Lord just comes into my chat and's like, "Hey, dickhead, watch where you're going. Like, why'd you hit the wall there?" And like, like the best thing for me to do would be like, "Hey, just calm down. Shit happens. Throw the timeout on or
Yeah.
something. Like, I'm not gonna ban him for coming in and talking shit on my channel. Like,
I think the ones you find get trigger happy with the bans are, like the bigger streamers. They just instantly hit the ban because something is said by that whole new chatter sort of thing. Like they're
Yeah.
picking up the vibe in the room, but because they're a new chatter, they just get instantly banned because the stream doesn't know them.
Right.
I know even from Mixer days, I'm more about education than bans. Like if I have no choice, I will slap a ban out, like
Mhm.
100%. If
Yeah.
you can't be educated and you can't pull your shit together, like certain people in chats,
right.
you fight a losing battle. You got to know your fight, and some people, you can bring and turn them around and get them to say, oh shit, sorry, I didn't realize, I'd much rather a chill environment and shit like that, so you can kind of turn them.
Mm.
Others, no, you kind of got to bite the bullet and say you're just not worth it out the door, and just leave it. And at that point, if you banned them, obviously you don't want their follow anyway, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it shouldn't even be a question. It really shouldn't be a question.
Yeah, like I know that if I would have banned someone, that's a permanent decision. Like
Yes.
I've obviously hit that point where I'm like, I don't want you here. Just go.
Right.
Just don't be around anymore. So yeah,
and that's where like the timeout tools come in, because it's like, hey, you know, I don't like your attitude today, cut it out. But if you notice they come in with that same behavior, then it's like, okay, just go away, and then you ban them, you lose the foul, and they're gone.
I mean, the timeout feature essentially is a warning.
Yeah,
it's like,
Yeah.
hey,
You get
you're being a dick. You know,
but
have a bit
it
of a
seems like they don't use it as a warning. It's just right into the ban.
Yeah. Because I mean,
but
like
that's
with
up
Glimesh,
to streamer discretion, though.
Yeah.
like we got short, long, and then a ban. So you got your short, which is 5 minutes. Now, if you can't explain to the person why they've been timed out in 5 minutes, then they come back. You hit them with a 15 if they're still going to carry on. If at that point you feel that you still can't get through their head, then I mean, the next thing is you got a ban. But I mean, I know Kazra and I've touched on this subject a lot throughout the years, but the moderation and actually having the mods being able to do it it's crazy, because at some point they're going to have a personal vendetta against somebody, and they're just going to instantly hit the ban, and that's, I think that's the problem, is having that mod or the head mod, so to speak, that you can rely on, that no matter what personal shit gets taken in, they can just leave that aside and understand that it's, at the end of the day, it's your channel, it's your space, and they still have to act upon your request. And I think what relies, and I know Kazza, we face a lot of this, is you find streamers just want to stream, they're mods do what you want, don't care, I respect your decision. And I think that's the wrong way to have a channel. The streamer, and I mean, even here on Glimesh and Trovo, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, the mods have to be a part of the team behind the streamer, and the streamer still has the final say. So I think at the end of the day, any tool that allows people to have access to your channel, like in Mixerdays, a channel editor, they could edit your channel. I think that has to be given to a person who's got a lot more understanding of the value of your channel and what it is you stand for as a streamer.
There's no moderation on the moderators. It's just like, hey, you're a moderator now, away you go. See, like, that's why I don't have any moderators, because if I had a moderator, I would expect them to act on a situation the way I would act on a situation, because I'm the streamer, it's my content, my chat. I would expect them to treat it as such. So
I mean,
can't have mods just going fucking willy-nilly and just doing whatever the hell they like.
I think the final decision on any mod action should come back to the streamer. Like, the streamer should get a notification.
I agree.
Hey, I'm a mod for speed, and example of Tane's come in fucking trying to spoil games. I'm going to time him out. Speed then gets a verification to say, do you wish to time that out? Tick no. Yes or no. That's then a point where that shows the streamer that the mods are doing what's supposed to be done, but they still have the final control over it. And until that's done, it either takes the stuff out of chat or puts it back into chat, and it allows it to be there. So I think at the end of the day, like, unless, like, I know, like I said, Lady's been my head mod for years, so she knows exactly how I work. So I can just look at the cam and just, give her a nod, and she just gets that shit out of here. But at the end of the day, your mods have to be an extension of you and your system. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I'm in the same boat. Like, I don't have any moderators set up on my channel because I want to be the one that's like, if someone's being unruly in my chat, I'm going to be the one to tell them to stop it. Do whatever moderation tools, just because I want to make sure that like it's reflective of me as a streamer. We talked about.
As I sit there nodding.
Yeah.
In the last bit of Twitch news for the week, a group of Turkish streamers have been involved in a money laundering scheme that has reportedly netted $10 million. The scheme was exposed following the Twitch data leak. The group of Turkish streamers with low follower numbers were generating large amounts of revenue through bit donations. Hackers stole credit card details from random individuals and negotiated with Twitch streamers to send large payments of money through bits. Streamers would then refund 80% of the money to various bank accounts owned by the hackers and keep the remaining share. Effectively, money laundering. Sucks.
I'll be honest. It took you saying Turkey streamers probably 3 times before I realized you were talking about streamers from Turkey and not people that stream turkeys.
I was thinking the same thing.
Turkish streamers. I said
Turkish streamers.
Nationality Turkish.
I was like, what do turkeys have to do with money laundering?
Yeah,
there are a lot of Turkish streamers on Twitch, and they all play Horizon 4 Eliminator.
I mean, to be fair, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, so.
Look, it's the accent. It may have sounded like I said Turkey. I said Turkish.
You did say Turkey. Like 5 times.
No, I said Turkish.
You said Turkey.
Just your ears are broken. Anyway, so that's all kind of fucked up. But moving on, competitor Facebook Gaming has made an offer to streamers with a limited time deal. Facebook is offering a 100% revenue cut for streamers when subscriptions are purchased with Facebook Pay until the end of the year, with up to $20 extra with a maximum payout of $10,000. Facebook will pay creators a bonus of $5 to $20 for every new subscriber they get from now until the end of the year.
So how much do you get paid per subscription that's new?
Yeah.
$5 to $20 is a big fucking difference.
Yeah.
$5.01, $5.02, $19.99. Like, again, that's not very clear.
But
I'm going to say that would be on the lower end for smaller streamers, and the bigger streamers to get new subs would be on the higher end of that payout.
Probably,
sure.
yeah.
That's just paying for viewers or streamers. Like that, we all know. Like Microsoft did the same thing. They tried to use money as an incentive to bring people over, and it all fell flat on its face. I'm hoping Facebook Gaming doesn't do the same thing, but
I mean, they're in the middle of an identity crisis right now, anyways.
yeah, they're in a bit of trouble over there.
Yeah. But heading on to some gaming news now. Fortnite servers will no longer be accessible after November 15 in China. Apparently, this won't be a big loss for Epic Games or Tencent, since the games were operating at a loss. With much stricter rules and no monetization, it was hard to keep the game alive in China. Because in China, there are no microtransactions.
That's right.
China also prevents children from playing video games for more than 90 minutes or 3 hours on weekends. We touched on that a couple of weeks ago. Fortnite in China was a completely different game that is from its international versions. It had different rules, a different design, and unlike the rest of the world. Fortnite is much easier. Fortnite in China is a much easier version of the video game. Players can get a free battle pass and cosmetic items and they can automatically win if they survive for 20 minutes. Also, when players also when players get a high amount of eliminations, they are asked to leave the game with a victory. This system lets players win matches in 10 to 15 minutes, whilst also giving other players in the lobby a chance to get a win.
So now we got participation trophies in Fortnite.
Exactly. I was just thinking the same thing.
China.
Hey, you're too good at the game. Can you just sit out a few rounds?
Yeah, can we make it fair for everyone? So, like, you've got 10 kills. Can you leave so other people can win now? Cool, thanks. Only in China, honestly. But
it's almost as if they're
Fortnite will
proving
not be a
that
game.
It's almost like they're proving that free with no microtransactions is a failure, and instead, what you should do is just sell your game and not have microtransactions, and then you
Weird.
could be profitable.
But the game in China was completely different to every other version around the world.
Yeah.
It was its own unique state.
Yeah.
So,
which is odd. Like, I mean, I couldn't imagine any other.
It's China.
Well, to be fair, World of Warcraft has its own client in China as well. Like, it's a completely different version of the game as well.
But there'd be no microtransactions in that point. So there'd be no tokens and stuff to buy and move around and.
Yeah, it's so also heavily censored as well. Like no gore or anything like that in it.
Yeah.
Oh god.
As it would be. But anyway, Fortnite will cease to exist in China as of
next week.
That's okay.
November 15th.
They weren't letting kids play more than 3 hours anyway.
Well, that's it.
That's true.
The original GoldenEye game has hit the news as it's been declassified as a banned game in Germany. So it has been when the game was first released, because of the content that was in it. It was deemed harmful to young persons and was put on a banned list for 25 years. As it's it has now only been 24 years, but the game has been unbanned. Fans of the franchise have pointed out the game would be a natural addition to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack.
That's okay. That's why then. Yeah. Fair play.
GoldenEye with the boys.
So I mean, I remember playing it.
Paintball mode was so much fun.
It was a good game. Microsoft and Sega announced a strategic alliance on Sunday. In a last Sunday. In a press release, Sega confirmed that the partnership will allow both companies to start exploring the game development using the Microsoft Azure cloud infrastructure. This partnership will also aid the development of Sega's previously announced Super Game project, which is currently years away from launch. While the partnership is in its early stages, Sega plans to use this partnership to explore future collaboration, including network infrastructure and communication. That is exciting shit. I would love to see Microsoft and Sega. I mean, Microsoft and Sega have been a hot topic for a little while now.
But to have an alliance, not necessarily a partnership and not an acquisition, but an alliance with them and work together.
Yes.
I think it's a benefit for both sides. When you think about the structure that Sega has and the impact they have in their market, and it's a big hole for the Microsoft market, I think it just going to open opportunities. And them coming to the Azure as opposed to what they're already running. It's
big stuff.
Big news. So that's really good news.
Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 are officially being delayed. No big surprise there. Activision Blizzard announced the delay in a slide titled "Update on Our Pipeline." saying that while it still plans to deliver a substantial amount of content next year, it is now planning for a later launch of Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 than originally envisaged. Ah, such a shame. I mean, Overwatch 2 has already been it's been tested, and it's basically Overwatch with a few sprinkles dabbed on top. Diablo 4 though would be very interesting. But I mean, we're in a time now where game delays are just a normal thing. So I
But
don't
let's
know
not
why
forget
everyone
that studio's in a world of trouble right now too.
Yeah,
at
they
the moment, and that's
Yeah.
the stuff that we're not going to touch on because that's way out of our league.
they're in the process
Uh,
of rebuilding and recovering right now, so
they
delays
they
are
are
expected.
rebuilding. They are rebuilding and restructuring the company.
Mhm.
So yeah, whatever. Uh, Call of Duty Vanguard is in the news and will give players the option to choose between seeing the swastika or the Iron Cross during campaign playthroughs. They have stated there are, of course, cultural boundaries that we felt we needed to respect, and we also wanted to be authentic in our approach to game design. It's a fine balance of not glorifying symbolism whilst also not ignoring or shying away from this dark moment in human history. There's certainly a line that we are very conscious not to cross, uh, while still honoring the sacrifice of those who fought to push back the world from the brink of a tyranny. In short, it's not something we take lightly, and I'm all for that.
That's the best way to
I
do
love
it.
the fact,
Yeah,
like that, the fact that they give you the ability to turn it on and off. I think is fantastic. Like, again, if you don't want to see it, turn it off. Simple. You know,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't care for it, fine. If you want to have it on there, awesome. I think
Like,
it's a good stand in the gaming industry to say, hey, look, no, we're not going to back down, but we're also not going to flood it in your face either.
Yeah.
I think it's a good
Yeah.
good balance.
They're basically saying we're going to build the game as historically accurate as we can. And if you don't want to see these symbols, because this is the reason that war happened, you can just turn them off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, it happened. It's
Yeah.
fact. It's history.
It is.
It's there. You can't just ignore it and replace it with something else.
No.
So I'm all for putting, like, if it's dark, if it's hard to deal with, whatever, it happened. If you want to put
Yeah.
that in the game, put it in the game. Yes, give options to change it out if need be, but you can't change the past. Like,
No.
yes,
No.
some things are going to have like a psychological impact on certain people, but that's where those options would come into play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So producer, I'm gonna fuck this name up. Tsuyoshi, producer Tsuyoshi Kanda said Capcom released Resident Evil 7 feedback, and some players felt it was actually too scary. Shock horror. They said, in one regard, that's exactly what we're striving for, so it's a huge compliment for us. But at the same time, it's always our goal to create something that anybody can feel comfortable jumping in and playing. So we eased up on the tension curve in Resident Evil Village relative to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, so players aren't in constant fear. It's a horror game.
That'd be like saying we've got to take out, or we've got to down the racing on Forza because it's a racing game. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you're playing a horror game for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
You're not playing My Friend Peppa Pig. You're playing Resident Evil. It's
But-
there for that purpose.
But they had changed the game because the stuff that was happening in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard wasn't structured, so it wasn't like story based. So you could be going down a corridor, then bam, jump scare, like you got shit chasing after you. So there was that constant fear of, holy crap, something could jump around the corner and get me. basically no
Well,
one
here's the
wanted to
thing.
drown their pants.
Don't play the game.
Like,
If you don't want to
no,
get scared,
Hold
don't
on,
play a
there's
scary
a-
game.
There's a new concept. If you don't like it, don't play it. It's like,
yeah,
fuck.
they're renowned horror games. Like, come on. But anyway,
Yeah.
People be
EA
stupid.
playing game. Yeah,
What was that,
they
Kazza?
are
Sorry.
stupid.
People be stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, don't push back on the game maker because you don't like the game, or you can't handle the game because you're such a sook. Like,
Yeah.
literally, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I don't play psychological horrors. They're too much.
Yeah, I agree.
They
I
fuck
do
with
agree
you,
with
man.
that. Yeah.
They're bad. Anyway,
Yes, I agree.
EA Play and Game Pass subscribers who are not looking to shell out money for a pre-order of Battlefield 2042 will get a chance to try out the game thanks to an early access trial. Subscribers to those two services will get to play a 10-hour early access trial of Battlefield 2042 starting on November 12. Electronic Arts and developer DICE said subscribers will get access to both open beta and the 10-hour trial. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's probably the only way I'm going to try it out.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah.
I dare say
that's
that game
moving
will
4
hit the
days.
EA Play market very fast.
I think you're probably
Yeah.
right.
Because I truly believe after playing the closed beta and what I felt in that game and the way it kind of sort of played, I think the Battlefield series, kind of like the Call of Duty series, is very niche market right now. And I think if you want to flood it and get people in it, you're gonna have to do something dumb like EA Play.
Mhm.
I think it's just gonna have to happen.
I mean,
Yeah.
but EA Play is integrated into
Game
Game
Pass
Pass
anyway.
as well. So, yeah, get Game Pass, definitely worth it. Now we touched on this last week. Superliminal was having a multiplayer update, and I've forgotten what the update was called now. But that multiplayer update is now out in the public. You can play it right now. Also, Superliminal is 50% off on Steam, so I'd definitely look into that if I were you.
Also
It
included
is
in
a
Game
hell
Pass
of a
if you
game.
have that.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Game Pass
Yes,
on
it's
PC
yeah. And console, I
and
believe.
console. Is it on both?
It should be
I
both.
will confirm that. I will confirm that while
Oh.
I'm sitting here.
I believe it's also available
Yeah.
So I have
for
Xbox in front of me.
cloud gaming if you want to try that out.
It is a very good game. I definitely recommend giving that a go if you can. I'm going to be giving that multiplayer mode a run at some point in the near future.
Okay, so I don't see it there.
That's fine. That's all good. Another remaster has been confirmed in the last week, but it's a good one. Red Dead Redemption has now been confirmed for a remaster, which is, I mean, it's pretty good that it's getting. I mean, it's almost guaranteed, really, because what we had GTA, the trilogy, the definitive edition, uh, relaunched as a remaster. So having Red Dead, yeah, I think that's going to go down nicely with everyone.
Just back to Superliminal. Yes, it is on Xbox Game Pass.
It is okay. There you go. So the big, the big bit of game news for this week is Forza
Yeah, Kaza,
Horizon
rub your
5.
hands. Rub your hands together.
It is Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 released early access earlier this week, and it has had a slew of issues
Oh my
The
god,
list,
is it Adam Serve issues?
the list
Yes.
of issues.
The list is like this long.
Just this many. Just
Hey,
this many here.
it can't be as many issues as NASCAR 21 Ignition had when it launched, okay?
I don't know. The list is pretty
It's-
extensive.
It's
Yeah.
if you go to the motorsports actual
Yeah,
website
Uh,
and look at the Forza 5 issues, it is long.
like
I will
Yeah.
drop the link just in chat there. If anyone is
Yeah.
interested in scrolling through that, have a look there. We will touch on some of these right now because it
I
is
mean,
it's
what,
pretty
we've got
obtained.
issues
Please
stemming
use up
from
in
like
caps.
we've got issues stemming from the Forzathon shop not being open, to audio issues, to controller mapping not working, cutscenes being locked to 30 FPS, changing output of audio settings will cause silence, blueprints not working, assets not rendering in, assets disappearing in front of the player's view, navigation
Yes.
lines missing, barn finds not working. Like there's so many issues.
So
Like some of these are like core gaming fundamentals.
Like, the
so
biggest
so
issue-
let's. Sorry, Kaz, go on.
biggest issue that me and Junkyard Corn Cob, who I play with a lot, we had was the first day we would get into convoys, you would drive up to each other and then just completely disappear.
I mean,
We were
that
racing down a
was-
motorway at one point, one after the other, and he would pass me and disappear, and then
Yeah.
then a mile up the road I'd be in front of him again because he literally disappeared again, and I passed him.
Hey, Yates,
players
Yeah.
in
what
the
do we call
convoy
that?
may disappear and reappear repeatedly. That's in the list.
Yates,
Yeah.
what do we call that in iRacing? We call that net code, right?
Yeah, netcode. Hey, I will
We've
say,
been facing that in iRacing for a long time.
I'm
so
scrolling through this list right now, and a glimmer of good news. There is one thing listed under fixed.
Yes.
They
And
fixed
it's probably
they fixed the DLC
easiest
purchase.
fix that they can do. Yeah.
If you
They've,
purchase the
they-
DLC, it now works.
They've fixed the server issue as well, with people disconnecting and reconnecting.
That's
the
good.
servers were
Good.
working today.
That's good.
okay, nice. Kazi, you can probably shed a bit of light on this. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if Speed is aware, but something was mentioned in one of the conferences about the servers will act as a level cap. Like you be the same level in the servers. You can't be like level 80 and then level 1 sort of thing. You be in those same servers. Is
Yeah,
that?
they're trying to do it so that the same level players are together, so that you
Okay.
don't
Okay, so
end
how's
up.
that going to work with a convoy then?
I was going to say, is that
Don't
going to be a
know,
benefit in any
but-
way to the game?
But there's supposed to be they've changed something with the trial as well, so that when you do the trial, you'll race against people of the same like 10 or so levels up or down, so you don't end up
Okay.
being like a 6-star who's been playing it forever, and you end up with newbies are just going to ram you off the track.
Right. Okay.
There are
It's to
there are
level
6 stars
it's to
that do
level the
that as
playing
well.
field, so that they're keeping like the same level of players together.
Kind of like doing splits on iRacing by iRating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of like the same sort of thing. Yeah, right. Makes a bit of
I mean-
sense.
I mean, it does half make sense. It is a good feature to have, when you're driving with like-leveled people, so to speak. But I do wonder
Sure.
how that's going to impact convoy racing. Personally,
Well, again, I mean, it depends because if you're in a convoy with friends and stuff, I mean, you're obviously going to be around the same sort of level. I mean, unless you get in the game in 2
early
years'
on,
time.
maybe, but there will be a stage where there will be stark differences between the levels of users.
Maybe convoy is going to be a private type thing, so it won't really matter. But the general server might be pooling, between 10 and 30 sort of thing. So like you'll have that mid section of being 20, you'll have down to 10 and up to 30 sort of thing. I'm not sure that's. I mean, it'll be an interesting feature to see how they run that out because
Yeah.
as like I know, like Jakes was touching on with iRacing, we have the I rating. So if you're within, say, 100 or a certain cutoff point, you'll then race with everybody sort of your level and under. And then
Yeah.
if you're above that, you're sort of in that next category. So again, it'd be interesting to see how they roll it out. But what I'm more interested about, okay, let's pull slamming the game aside for a minute. How does it play? I know Kazi, you played PC. Speed, I know you've been console. Let's take the slamming the game off for a little bit and actually just chat about the game. Like, how is it as
Well,
a play style?
I think it's a definite step in the right direction compared to Horizon 4. That a lot of changes have been made that are definitely more user friendly.
Yeah.
Things have a better flow uh, in terms of like unlocking things, doing stuff. I personally love the car list, the brand new car list, because I know what cars I'm missing and I can purchase them straight from that list. I don't have to scour the auto show and be like, is that the car that I'm missing? I don't know. And then just end up buying the same fucking car that I had prior. So there's for the amount of problems that the game is having, I think that there's just as many good things that have been pushed into the game. So performance wise on the Series X does work reasonably well. I think a few small tweaks here and there in regards to frame rate. But on the whole, I'm enjoying it so far.
Hello, what about you? What are you adding or taking away from Speed there?
Um, running on PC has been fine because running on my PC it's been okay. I get the same low streaming bandwidth problem I get with FH4, but that's just a texture mapping thing for my with my
GPU.
brain's gone with my GPU, yeah.
Mm.
And I know how to fix. I went on the forums today and I saw a bunch of people complaining about it. I know how to fix that anyway. So I just added my 2 cents in to show them how to fix it. And that's it's so simple. It's so simple. It's not funny. But yeah, that's the only real problem that I've had apart from the disconnections we were having. That's my only
How are
real
you?
issue with it.
How are you
Play
finding the overall gameplay?
Play-wise, it's fantastic. It's a lot of the cars are easy. They're easier to drive now, and they handle a lot better than they used to.
Yeah, I
Like
will say that as well. Yeah,
you can take the fast cars now, and they will handle properly. They won't want to slide off on every single freaking corner.
yeah.
You know?
I have noticed that myself. Like because obviously real people drive with traction control off.
Yeah.
There is a lot more control with the car now compared to Horizon 4, where if you did give it a little bit too much, it was just gone. Like there was no control. But it does feel like
Yeah.
there is a lot more control in
And
those sorts of cars.
there's a lot
So
more control when you jump from all-wheel drive to rear drive as well. Because if you're a drifter, you get a lot of people say that if you drift in all-wheel drive, you're not a proper drifter, and blah blah blah, whatever. Well, I don't care about that. But what I've
I
noticed
can
is
prove otherwise.
I can now jump from an all-wheel drive car, jump into a rear drive car, and it won't kick out or do the stupid crazy shit it always you do in FH4.
Yeah.
Like now they fix simulation steering as well.
right,
So the
and
simulation steering is so much better now. Like
okay,
before your cars would be all over, you would flick it and your cars would be all over the place. But now they handle properly. They go around corners. You can drift literally everything and anything. It's it's just so much better than it was.
So I know one thing that I had issues with Horizon 4 was the seasons. To actually process and get through the season, you had to rely on those like playground games with random people trying to get, your advancement was relying on other people. Is it we still got that in this so much, or is it not as bad? Because I know they've changed the points, like they've got a point system now, and like not 80% of the completion, they've got points. So are they easier to grab and get without having to rely on other people, or do you still have to have those
Well,
like
the point
You
system
can
playground
covers
games and stuff?
everything now.
with the seasonal stuff in FH4. I kind of worked out a way myself that I didn't have to rely on everybody to help me, like hit 50%. And I think I you know you have the same kind of thing in 5. I don't think you're really gonna have to rely on people so much.
Yeah. Plus,
I,
there's
I know
like
with
so many more options to get points now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like you
okay,
can do the eliminator and get points that go to the seasonal stuff. Like just
that
all
was
those,
going to be something I was going to touch on next.
yeah, like all those extra random things that had no connection to the season now have some kind of connection to the season. Like pretty much anything that you can do in the game will give you a small handful of points that go towards your seasonal objective. And the points that you need for those seasonal objectives aren't like extraordinarily high either, which is good. So it gives a fair chance for a good portion of the player base to get, say, both vehicles from.
Yeah, because that was a big thing in 4. You could get the first vehicle pretty easily, but getting the second vehicle really was a struggle.
Oh, absolutely.
Getting 80% of that season was just ridiculous.
Yeah, because you had to end up doing the playground game to get
That's
it.
right,
and,
yeah.
yeah.
That was just
Yeah.
murder. So
And
Speed,
like
you just touched on
sometimes
the Eliminator.
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was
Go on, what
just
were you
going to
going to say?
say, sometimes the trial was the backbreaker of the
Yeah.
series.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on which one it was.
It got
'cause
it got
sometimes
better
they were
towards
bad.
it got better towards end of life though with the trial. They kind of
That didn't
they
help.
yeah it did towards end of life of the game they I don't know what they did something to the trial, but it made it a lot. I think what they did is they used lower class cars and just to make it easier to build stuff to drive in it.
Okay. So, Speed, you just touched on the Eliminator. Have they brought that back across, have they? And have
Yes.
they changed it? Do you
yeah.
know?
Well,
No.
pretty much no, they haven't. Pretty much
It's
everything
still crap.
everything that was in Horizon 4, like everything, like from the Lego DLC to fucking Fortune Island, like searching for treasure chests, doing certain races with certain cars. It's pretty much everything has been jammed into the main portion of the game to give
Right.
pretty much everyone as much to do as humanly possible, which I think is wicked. There's there's so much to do. It's almost overwhelming, especially for a brand new game. So once the new DLC comes out, God knows what they're going to add to it.
I'm looking
'Cause
forward to it.
it's yeah, there's so much to do. Like it covers all bases, which is really good.
The progression chasm with like boards and roads and stuff. I mean, I've seen, was there like 500 and something roads now to discover?
There's 588 roads, I think it is.
Wow.
And
Ouch.
I've discovered
That's a few more
almost
roads
all of them.
compared to Horizon 4. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not
Um,
surprised you've done all of them.
I got the
but
achievement. I got the achievement yesterday that I'd got all of them, and usually the achievement is you're like 5 shy of it. So yeah, I am
Okay.
at that point. Well, I've
Wow.
Yeah,
I've
nice.
3-starred all of the drift zones as well.
Of course. I will say
In the 2020
something-
Super as well.
it's something that I've seen online. A couple of clips of where some of the boards are just
Mm.
downright crazy. I mean, one's on top of a power line tower.
Yes.
It's just
There is-
stupid.
There is one halfway up a bridge pylon.
Yeah.
Like, the valley comes down and you got the two pylons up for the bridge, and one's like halfway up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they've just had a lot of fun with wherever those
Are,
boards
are
go.
those bugs, or did they put them there on purpose?
No,
they,
they're-
they'll be
they
legitimate.
intentionally
okay.
put them there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know in
Yeah.
FH4 there was one actually up on top of a roof that was between two chimney towers, and you had to get the angle just right to sneak through the first
Yep.
chimney tower to hit the board and get out the other side of the chimney
Yeah,
tower.
yeah.
It was literally millimeter perfect, and it
Yep.
took
Yeah.
ages to get the right car and
Yeah.
everything just to get that. And there was a river down the bottom, so you had to use a riverbank to get up onto the top. So there'd be a way to get it, whether it be on the bridge and just drop down, or whether
Oh,
it's
yeah.
you've got to jump to it. You've got to be quick enough to jump off the banking, as Kaz was just saying, it's on a valley, so you'd probably have to jump off, or there'll be
It's more
something there.
about speed control and driving precision, essentially. I think they're just really pushing for that sort of stuff.
Okay.
I got one today that was just sitting on top of a shack, and there was all the land around it was flat, and had a good scrape round. And I realized that just across on the other side of the road there was just a little bit of a bump, and if you hit it hard enough, like I did, you just literally slammed into the building. It took out the thing at the same time. So yeah.
Wow.
Okay, nice.
Damn. That is crazy.
So all bugs aside, hands on. Releases 9th, I believe. Am I right? 9th
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Tomorrow for us over here. You guys still have to wait like another day and a half.
Yeah,
in the,
unfortunately.
in the US of A.
But yeah, so hands on recommended. Would you hold off on it? Would you wait? What would you?
Even
Like
with,
I told you.
Sorry, no, you're right.
Like I told you earlier when we texted, unless you're a hardcore Horizon fan, I would wait until Tuesday and then make your decision.
I personally would recommend the game, even though there are a lot of bugs in it. Just because it is just a hell of a lot more different compared to what Horizon 4 was. Like, there's so many good things there compared to Horizon 4 that I would actually recommend it. So.
Fair enough. I mean,
I've already found a really good glitch on it as well. And it's like you come to the festival, you go bombing down the road from the festival towards the motorway, and as you go into the motorway bridge, it stops you dead and puts you back on top of the bridge.
Okay.
Well, I
That's
can't wait to
interesting.
experience that one.
I'll put it on TikTok here.
That's
Anyway.
interesting. So obviously there's some issues. I was reading in chat before, the wheel support is having issues. Do we know if that's branded based? Like, is it Logitech? Is it Thrustmaster? Is it is it purely brand based that these are happening?
From what I saw,
I noticed
the
there was
list,
some in the. It was Logitech and Fanatec, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's what I saw from the list. Fanatec, Logitech.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing maybe obtained. You might have a Logitech wheel potentially.
It does has Logitech G920. Yeah. Also, his wheels like full broke.
Yeah, 920. Okay, so yeah, so it appears to be a Logitech. So it'd be interesting when it comes out, because I got the Thrustmaster, whether it actually works, and I don't know. Yakes, what are you running? You're running the old school one, aren't you?
I got this for Forza. The old game.
Oh, you got a controller.
Yeah.
Ew.
Now
I'm using
these are
controller.
way better.
Yeah.
Way better for Forza.
Need I remind you, underneath me sits a guy who does iRacing. on a
Yeah.
wheel, and
Well,
he's going to play a
I've-
racing game on a
I've
controller.
told you guys so many times that I use my wheel exclusively for iRacing because I don't want to bring it to another game and mess up what I'm expecting to feel in the wheel. And then I go back to iRacing and those bad habits go back and forth. I try to avoid that because it happened to me before when I was playing. I got NASCAR Heat 2 when that came out, and I was like, oh, NASCAR game, let's play with the wheel. And then I went into back into iRacing, and I was just like, how do I drive this? I can't, because I kept trying to drive it like the video game. So since that happened, I only use gamepad for racing games that aren't iRacing. I've got a wonderful Thrustmaster T150 that I use for iRacing, and it's great. But it's only iRacing that I use it for. That's it. Just sim racing.
Alright.
So if we do have anyone in the SideNote Discord or in the SideNote family who would be keen about running some convoys, definitely hit up those two boys over there, Kazo and Speed. I'm sure those boys are down to
Well, I'm
get some community
level
involvement.
90 and he's level 1, so I don't know if he can run with me.
I'll be joining the party on
No,
Tuesday once it opens
you-
up on Game Pass.
You even doubted my drifting abilities when I joined you that time. You're like, yeah, you got some skills. Like, yeah.
I'll be on mainly in the evenings because I have a shit ton of packing to do to get out of this house. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just enjoying just playing the game for now. I will look into convoys once I've done a little bit more there. But
I mean, look, message the guys through Discord and organize. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, if you can take out the bugs and you can enjoy it at the moment, do it. If not, again, wait till Tuesday. There's obviously going to be a big patch that's going to come day one. Clearly, there's some issues.
Yeah.
Again, new games always going to have an issue. Don't judge it by that. Get your hands on it. Have a look at it. Put your own spin on it. If you like it, awesome. If not, awesome again. I mean, there's no right or wrong there, but
that's it.
I know all four of us will definitely be playing it and getting around it. So if you do want to join convoys or just hang out and play, definitely hit us up. We can definitely do that as well.
For sure. We will move into some tech and hardware news now. As we all know, Intel has been in production of their brand new gaming graphics cards. We did see the XELP, which is their low power GPU, release last year with disappointing results, to say the least. Their new cards, though, are due to release Q1 next year, which is around about March at the most. So their new GPU brand is Arc, obviously designed to compete with the NVIDIA and Radeon cards. The new card is part of Intel's Xe HPG roadmap, which is the high power / gaming, and it's said to deliver performance akin to the RTX 3070, thanks to 512 execution units and 16 gig of GDDR6.
Interesting.
Leaks suggest that it may also have several variants in the works, including lighter versions with 448 execution units, 384, 256, or as few as 128 as entry level GPUs. It has been confirmed that the lower tiered GPU with 448 execution units has been confirmed by Intel. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go in terms of power and gaming. AMD's RDNA 3 graphics cards are going to be a big step up, both in terms of performance and
I'm on.
as
Mrs.
well
Kaz.
as well as technological progress. With a launch slated for late next year, the AMD RDNA 3 GPUs will leverage a chiplet design and feature never before seen core counts. Apparently, the RX 7900 XT will be the flagship model for next gen RDNA 3 on an MCM chiplet design with a total of over 15,000 cores. So it should be easily 2.5 times faster than its predecessor, which would be the
Okay.
6900 XT. There is also a 7800 XT, which apparently beats the 6800 XT by 30 to 40%. Like, I think RDNA 3 is going to be a step up and beyond in terms of graphical power. But don't get your hopes up. You probably won't be able to buy one anyway.
with all GPUs, you won't be able to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the green side of things, the RTX 4090 will be a major upgrade over the RTX 3090, obviously. Various reports have indicated a power draw of up to 600 watts.
Oof.
The the 600 watt mark is the maximum as part of the new 12-pin power connector for PCI Express Gen 5.
Didn't we say the
However,
3090 had a 16-pin power?
the 3090 Ti does have a brand new connector, yeah. However, according to a tweet from TT Lexington, the RTX 4090 may have a TGP exceeding 700 watts.
Oh,
Jesus.
That is something else.
That's some power draw.
Yikes.
It's possible that
What-
NVIDIA will opt for a custom connector with more rails or something else entirely. I would not put it past them. I very much doubt they would have two 12-pin connectors on their GPU. Knowing NVIDIA, they will probably
You're
use
right, Tech.
the new 16-pin connector that they've just made on these cards, and essentially make everyone use their pissy little adapter cable.
I like what Tech said there in chat. We're heading into the dual PSU builds now, not the dual GPUs.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be running two power supplies soon enough.
It's a 700 watts. I mean, that wouldn't even be peak power. That would be like, a standard heavy load.
That's
But
ridiculous, isn't it? Like,
it would peak a lot higher than that. That's concerning. So that
kidding.
that 1600 watt power supply we spoke about last week, it's a pretty good fit right now.
that's just ludicrous. So when you start looking at that kind of power draw just from a GPU, plus you add in
makes you wonder if the power supply company heard rumors that they were developing this, so they're like, "Oh, let's just make a bigger power supply."
Yeah, let's just go.
I've got no doubts they're all in cahoots with each other.
Yeah.
So they all know what's going on. But from what I've heard so far, the new RDNA 3 GPUs will run at a much lower wattage than that. They will be far more efficient. But we'll see how that pans out.
But I mean, they could claim 100 watts less power is more efficient, but it's still a fucking lot of power.
Yeah, so much power.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
If AMD can hit like a 500 watt mark for their next GPUs, I mean, but if you've got an RTX, that'd be for the flagship, might I add. So like the 7900 XT. If the RTX 4090 is hitting 700, maybe more. I mean, that's just rumored. That's not actual.
Yeah.
Like, if it's hitting those high, like, power draws, holy shit! Like all AMD has to do is just reduce the power draw and have the same amount of efficiency, and they're going to come out on top.
So my thing when you're going through that speed, like they're saying the 3090 Ti is going to have a 16 pin, but they're already touting a 4090. So we've only just gone into the 30 series cards, and they're already going into a 40 series as well. Like,
yes,
come on.
yeah. Well, we all know what Nvidia does. They just like keep producing GPUs. Like they'll produce the RTX 4090, and then shortly after there'll be the 4080, the 4070, the 4060. Hell, they may even go as low as the fucking 4050, and then they'll add all the TI versions in there, and they just like to fill all the gaps. It's what Nvidia does. AMD is again in the news for power as well. The future Zen 5 CPU family, codenamed Turin, might have TDP as high as 600 watts. That is a theoretical wattage. The future CPUs will supposedly be available in at least two configurations of 192 cores, 384 threads, and 256 cores, 512 threads. It's not expected to see those chips for at least another 2 to 3 years. But before we get on the holy shit, that's a lot of power for a CPU. These are high-end, like server CPUs. These are like
those are not what you would put in your
CPUs.
home build.
No.
Why would you install 500 thread PC in your home build? Come on, like your CPU would never tick over like 1% when you're streaming.
Look,
Come on, it'd be like the ultimate PC.
Unless you've got a render PC that's just constantly doing CPU rendering, yeah, like I'd go for that if I had one of those. But I mean, the price on those would just be astronomical. We're looking like thousands of dollars.
Seems worth it.
You were saying that
Just for the
CPU is going to have a
local
600-watt power draw. A GPU was what?
supposedly.
700. So that's 1,300 just in those two items.
Yeah,
That's
but
not taking
these
Just think of how good
are-
that would be for rendering iRacing, which is more CPU
these
heavy than
are-
graphics.
Oh,
These are server CPUs, so the GPU doesn't have to be as high end. You know, it's more
no,
for
I get that, but
computing purposes.
I get that, but you know as well as I do, somebody with more money than brains is going to go and buy this for their home PC setup.
Absolutely.
And they're going to
have
chew a power
no
supply
doubt.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that we'll see a video from Linus Tech Tips or something where they've put that 256 core CPU in with a fucking RTX 4090 Ti or something like that. They'll go all out.
Hey guys,
3
look at
power
this
supplies all plugged in to run one for the
Yeah.
CPU, one for the GPU,
in
one for the
a
RAM.
custom case that looks like a spaceship, and
They'll do it. They'll do it. I have
Oh,
no
you know
doubt
they're going
they'll
to.
do it.
someone's gonna put that in a home PC.
But
No,
like as a server PC setup, I mean that again for the options for say streaming sites and stuff, like those 512 core or those threads would definitely make a big difference to a
Huge difference.
latency issue as well.
Yeah. I mean, I believe Zen 5 is supposed to be on the 5 nanometer design,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. So power efficiency is like tip top, and you're gonna need that. I do wonder what the gigahertz is going to be for those guys. I mean, they wouldn't have to be much in order to achieve like ridiculous speeds. But anyway, if you're an Android user and a Netflix user, your login credentials now officially double as a pass to access 5 new games. The streaming platform, 5 new games on Netflix.
Yes.
as part of its quest to find and keep new subscribers. As of Tuesday, Android users around the world will see a tab that says Games on the Netflix app, which redirects them to Google Play Store once they've downloaded the games, which currently include Stranger Things 1984, Stranger Things 3 the game, Shooting Hoops, Card Blast, and Teeter Up. They'll be prompted for Netflix login info in order to access uh, them like regular apps.
But does it have
And
Squid Game?
no, because Squid Game isn't a game. Duh.
God damn, yeah.
So I find it interesting that they're delving into that. Like I did hear rumors quite a while back that Netflix were looking into the gaming sector.
I mean, it
But
doesn't surprise me though, because Netflix has been like that one that's like always tried new things. Like, do you remember like a couple years ago
Yeah.
when they really tried to push choose your own adventure movies and TV shows with that
they've
that
still
big
got them.
one?
They're still pushing them out.
Yeah, they're still putting those out, but like it really started with that Black Mirror movie, Bandersnatch. I think it was Bandersnatch. I
Yeah.
forget the
I
name of
mean,
it,
there's
but it was like
Yeah.
really
one
good.
with the Undertaker now.
Yeah, and then there was also one with like Bear Grylls that was like a survival challenge.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
lots of children's shows that have the choose your own adventure sort of
yeah. So
style.
like it doesn't surprise me that Netflix is like, well, what if we put games too with
Mm.
our things?
Again, though, you've got to look at the bandwidth and the latency. Are they going to be close enough? Are they going to, like, are they going to be games that
But
people are going to be interested in? Yeah,
but it's
again, it's
only for
going to be.
Android users. So the game downloads is a separate thing. So it's not you're not actually playing a game through Netflix. It's
Gotcha.
I don't understand what it is.
So is it? Would it be more of like a delivery platform for games based on Netflix
That's
shows?
potentially,
Possibly.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's sounding like, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So like oh yeah, you're looking for that Stranger Things game that came out. Oh look, here's a link for it in Netflix. Kind of
Mm,
thing.
That
mm,
makes sense.
mm. Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Facebook is trying to get itself out of hot water as it will shut down its facial
Again?
recognition system. Yeah, it will shut down its facial
Oh,
recognition system and
Facebook.
delete the face prints of more than 1 billion people amid growing concerns about the technology and its misuse. Facebook misusing data? No.
What?
No, what? That's like saying Twitch
What?
is only in it for the money. Twitch isn't
Oh.
in it for the money, is it?
uh,
Uh,
Jerome Pesenti has stated this change will represent one of the largest shifts in facial recognition usage in the technology's history. He also stated that the company was trying to weigh the positive use cases for the technology against growing societal concerns, especially as regulators have yet to provide clear rules. Draw a moral line. I mean, come on. I mean,
mhm.
if there's no rules for it, use morals. Like,
Right?
do we need to use your face for, third party advertising? No,
Nope.
don't fucking do it. For facial recognition for easier login. Yes, like do that.
But the problem is they've still got to store that somewhere, and they could still misuse it. So again,
Yeah, knowing
I mean,
Facebook,
safety factor.
it would leak out to the general public, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
privacy's out the window.
Oh no, it's not
Uh,
Facebook now. It's Meta. Remember?
Yeah,
no,
it's
no, no.
meta.
Facebook is still Facebook under the
Yes,
Meta
but it would
name.
leak out to Meta,
Yeah.
and then Meta would have it. You see, so
Whatever
Yeah,
are we gonna
yeah,
do?
it's one of those things, isn't it? I mean, meh.
yeah. On the Meta news, though, according to TMZ, another company has already uh, filed to trademark the word Meta.
Yes, they
Hmm.
have.
Back in August, Meta
Yep.
PC's trademark has yet to be granted. The founders of the PC company had said that they will relent on the trademark if Mark Zuckerberg is willing to pay at least $20 million. They they said that as a bit of a joke and a jab. So God knows what's going to happen there.
They should have gone higher. I mean, 20 million is just small change here.
Yeah, that's not.
They should have gone higher. They should have pushed him, I reckon.
Well,
yeah, that's going to be an
you never
interesting
know.
saga and how that plays out.
It might happen. Who knows? Gary Bowser, who participated in a hacking enterprise to unlock Nintendo Switch systems, is pleading guilty to his crimes. As part of his plea deal, Bowser agrees to pay Nintendo $4.5 million, and he is still facing potential multiple years imprisonment. Bowser was a member of a cybercriminals enterprise that created, sold, and distributed
Yikes, can't help himself.
circumvention devices capable of allowing games consoles to play ROMs, thereby inflicting monetary harm on the game developers and publishers who sold the legal versions of these games. The group developed hacks for a variety of game systems, including Nintendo Switch as well as 3DS, dating all the way back to 2013 and running until August 19, 2020. I remember seeing that Gary Bowser thing like last year, I think it was, where it sort of really kicked off. But yeah, $4.5 million.
I was trying to hold myself
And
together, but Yikes just fucking blew that right out the window.
I couldn't stop laughing at the irony of a guy named Bowser hacking Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of like that was the joke when the news broke, was that Bowser was causing harm to Nintendo.
It's like the villain of the whole Nintendo series is kind of taking Nintendo out. It's
Bowser.
Like, how ironic is that?
Yeah.
So I tried to hold it back, but I just I couldn't.
But you didn't try hard enough.
No, apparently.
No. G-Skill is thrilled to announce the achievement of DDR5 7000, passing the mem testability test with 7,000 mega transfers per second. The G-Skill DDR5 6666 CL40 memory kit is currently the fastest memory kit on the Intel XMP 3.0 memory list. There's a good chunk of RAM on there, but that apparently is just...
That'll go really nice with your 256 core processor and your 4090 NVIDIA card.
Yeah. On that though, the Intel 12th Gen CPU.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
just put a whole transformer on the side of your house.
Yeah.
The flagship Intel 12th Gen CPU has achieved an overclocking speed of 8 gigahertz, which is just phenomenal. Like, you just imagine the heat that would produce.
Well, we did say last week we're going to get into the liquid nitrogen cooling.
Yeah.
We're gonna have yeah, we're gonna have liquid cooled PCs with just liquid nitrogen in them. The Velocity 1 Universal Flight Controller from Turtle Beach is now available for pre-order for a low price of $380 US, with a limit of 2 per customer. The controller was designed for a flight simulator in mind. Yeah, for $380 US, right? Yeah. The controller is compatible with the Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. So, I mean, if you're willing to spend the money for a controller that's cross-platform compatible, I still wouldn't do it. There's definitely cheaper options out there. But there are none, unfortunately, that work with Xbox consoles. So,
yes, there is.
Stuck. But is there really? As far as I know,
the T Hottest, the Thrustmaster T Hottest. Yeah, I've got it. Works
is
with the
compatible with
console and the
Xbox.
PC.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Minecraft is in the news as well. Minecraft
Yay.
cheaters in Japan are being hit with some instant karma. Wannabe hackers are being targeted by data destroying ransomware that masquerades as a list of stolen Minecraft accounts. The ransomware temporarily corrupts files smaller than 2 megabytes until the victim has paid 2,000 yen, about $17 US, to rescue them. But it doesn't give the victims the chance to save anything. When they open the executable, any files that are larger than 2 megabytes and have a variety of extension types are filled with random bytes that permanently destroy them. It deletes any Windows backup copies of the file, so you can't simply restore them. It also plasters a ransom note on the user's wallpaper. The only thing it doesn't do is take any of your data. So, sucked in to all those Japanese hackers. Right, and the final bit of news I have here. In Take Two's earnings report, the company revealed that it has a whopping 62 games planned for release by the end of 2024, of which only 10 games currently have been announced. The list includes 23 immersive core games, i.e., big AAA games, 6 independent, 20 mobile, 4 mid core, which are like the arcade style AAAs, and 9 new iterations of previously released titles. Out of those new iterations, only 4 of them have been announced. So
Interesting.
that's it. I mean, but Red Dead Redemption wasn't on that list, so that's 5. So there's still 4 to be announced. I
Interesting.
reckon Bully would be a part of one of those.
Probably.
Oh, Bully could
I
be good.
had
Yeah.
If I had to take a wild stab in the dark. But that is a lot of games. I mean, even the 23 big AAA titles, only 5 or 6 of those have been announced. So there's there's a lot coming from Take Two over the next couple of years. So they've obviously got really big plans for the future. But that's it. That's the week in news.
Woo!
Nice.
A lot
What
happened.
a busy week.
Yeah,
It was
a
actually. It was a
lot.
good week this week.
Yeah.
A lot happened in the last week.
And we got
Unfortunately,
events
still
coming
no
up this
bloody
week.
Glimesh news.
Hey, it's coming on Tuesday. It's coming on Tuesday.
There you go.
We got
Get
the
to that link.
GC
Check it out.
GC Talks on
No.
Tuesday.
Tuesday
Tune in.
wasn't this week, was it?
No,
It's
but it's
gonna be
in
Tuesday.
like 2 days. 2
Yeah,
days,
it's all right.
48 hours.
Day and a half now.
Yeah.
So yeah, GC Talks is on Tuesday next week. We will be covering that next week on the show, and we will discuss in full everything that has been announced. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sick of talking about Twitch. I want to talk about Glimesh some more.
Me as well.
Remember, guys, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune into the glimesh.tv/glimesh for your GC Talks and find out what is actually happening.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
There is some things happening. Check that tweet. There is some news. There are some things creeping in the background. So
Do like a bit of creeping in the background.
but we will say goodbye to YouTube at this point.
Yep. Bye. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you
See
next
you later,
week.
YouTube.